My jaw is on the ground still after the incredible election win by President Donald Trump, once again becoming the 47th president. You know, it's amazing what's happening in Hollywood. All these woke people, their heads are starting to blow up. You know, the threats to move to Canada. No, you can stay where you are, okay? But more importantly, so much of the narrative of how the world is going to come to a tragic end under the Trump presidency. I just can't believe these people. The fact that Jimmy Kimmel in his monologue comes out and does a bleeding heart, you know, tears in the eyes and the whole bit, and he's trying to say how much of a catastrophe this is going to be. Let's take a quick look at his monologue, and then I need to break it down.
Let's be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate, for science, for journalism, for justice, for free speech. It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth and democracy and decency. And it was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him. And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet.
Okay, you know what? I got to break this one down because he picked on so many things. And it's amazing because President Trump, most of those things he picked on exactly and talked about the exact opposite about how he's going to have a positive impact on them. Let's start off by breaking what Jimmy had to say down a little. And let's hear the first few that we've got.
Let's be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants.
Let's stop it right there for a second, okay? Women, children, and hundreds of thousands of migrant workers. Okay, Jimmy, have you given your head a shake? You know what? If anything, for women, you know, Donald Trump has stood up to the transgender about letting women be women and men be men. So I'm not sure which ones you're talking about when we talk about children. He doesn't like pedophilia. Now, maybe your group in Hollywood does, but you know what? He does protect children. And as far as the workers, hey, he just wants legal workers so you can track and guess what? Maybe pay taxes properly. You know what, Jimmy? So far, you're not doing so good in making a good impression. Let's take a look what else you have to say.
Who make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate, for science, for journalism.
Hang on. Science? Who is part of Trump's team, man? The guy that's going to be able to take us to Mars. Probably one of the greatest inventors the world has ever known. Elon Musk is 100% in the Trump camp. And you're talking about science? Climate change? Buddy, just so you know, soy fields, windmills, and batteries ain't gonna cut it. And when you talk about journalism, what do you think most people look at? X, Twitter, okay? Like when we talk about journalism, those paper rags are done and most of them lie. When we saw the election being reported, it was all half-truths the whole way. What else do you want to tell us that's bad?
Journalism, for justice, for free speech. It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security.
Okay, hang on. Hey, buddy, you know what? The Democrats are the ones who are pro-tax like crazy. What did Donald Trump promise? Well, you know what? He doesn't want seniors to pay any more taxes. They get taxed enough through their entire lives. That's one of his commitments. And one thing that you keep leaving out of your basic monologue. Middle class, who do you think voted him in? I mean, give your head a shake, man. What else do you have to say?
Allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth and democracy and decency. And it was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him. And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet. Let's be honest.
here's the thing. We're not going to have to realize that for the ones that were able to vote for him. I wish I could. I'd give him 10 votes in a heartbeat. Here's the thing. You mentioned the Ukraine. Oh, you mean the people that are taking so much money from the world and being laundered through? Hey, did you even see the Biden laptop? Probably not. But on top of this whole thing, you keep going down the same road that this whole thing is a big mistake. Have you noticed what happened the last 4 years? Give your head a shake. The American people have spoken. And you know what? One of the reasons why your ratings have dropped is because the American people have spoken. Anyways, look, I'm going to make it really clear. We're going to see a lot of this stuff. We're going to have, comedians. We're going to have people from The View. Everybody's going to be taking a run at Trump. But here's the thing, majority rules. And one of the most important things we know that has now happened is the world will start working better under a Trump presidency than it definitely has been under the Democrats. I'm looking forward to the time where actually President Trump gets sworn in and he can actually start going to work on what is going to be necessary to make everything better. And that's one of the most important things. You know what? So you can't shame the guy for thinking about family, taking care of his neighbors, and now taking care of the country again. It's one of the most important things I think all of us as humans need to focus on. Family, friends, neighbors, and worrying about the next generation. Listen, I'd love to hear your comments on this because we're going to be seeing a lot of it over the next several months about people like this going to trash the actual result of us getting President Trump reelected. Let me know how you feel. Thanks for watching.